Imagine you have made hundreds of millions and now you're supposed to pay taxes on it. A problem my audience surely knows all too well, but in the fantasy world of Konosuba, the situation nearly ended fatally for a certain goddess. Because in Konosuba the world is, let's say, a bit more unfair than even ours. While our tax office would chase us to the end of the earth and would never forgive taxes. Unless of course you're a small, innocent mega corporation, then you simply come and X your way out of it. In Konosuba, taxes are collected only once a year, and only for the residents that happen to be in the city at this very time, and that can be physically apprehended. I know what you're thinking. Doesn't this tax system just reward the rich who can simply travel elsewhere during tax season, while the poor warehouse workers, shopkeepers and construction workers get stuck paying the bills? And let's just say that. Who makes the law in the world of Konosuba? Exactly, the people who as counts, dukes or even princes have accumulated enough power and money to buy or just pass whatever laws they want, meaning once a year, everyone that can't escape from anything is gathered and forced to pay. Something that also completely blindsided Kazuma, who was apprehended by darkness of all people. But for Aqua, things were different. The goddess of party tricks remembered that she's also a goddess of water. And even though in her mortal earthbound form she has lost much of her power, but none of her arrogance, she is still so incredibly powerful that she can breathe underwater without any problems, meaning she cannot be drowned, because she can literally breathe water. And fun fact, when I was a kid I once watched some underwater alien research documentary called The Abyss, where they submerged a rat into a kind of breathable water liquid thing. And I thought it was just special effects and found it less realistic than the sci-fi alien stuff, until I eventually learned that this scene was real. They really submerged a rat into breathable liquid and it survived, even though it was probably very unpleasant for the poor thing. And I also think that this is one of two liquids that Evangelion fans are very familiar with. Anyway, Aqua, unlike the poor rat from my childhood trauma, can breathe normal underwater without any problem. So Aqua overclocked the few brain cells she had and dove to the bottom of a lake to survive tax day. And that's actually very smart, and smarter than I would have given her credit for. Because as a water goddess who can summon entire floods, she's safe in her element. I mean, any lightning caster who tried to shock her underwater would just end up zapping themselves. But Aqua completely forgot about a different kind of friendly fire. The goddess of party tricks had racked up enormous tax debts, and she had surely recorded the appropriate tearful apology video. But because she was so much in debt, because she owed so much taxes to the state, they really came after her guns blazing. And therefore not only the tax collectors were very fired up. Literally, dozens of fire mages shot one fireball after another into the lake until it was almost completely evaporated, which would have boiled Aqua almost alive. Of course, she could have surfaced at any time, but then she would have to pay taxes. And overall I found it so funny how creative the three of them were in avoiding taxes. Even though Kazuma, for example, lives in a villa with 3 women, a dragon and a cat, which is actually a dark goddess, and becomes a multi-millionaire after season 3, he really doesn't want to pay taxes. And the whole thing gives me major Homer Simpson vibes. Remember, he was originally written in the early 90s as a complete loser because he was stuck in a safe, well-paid job and still often had money problems. But today, with his house, his housewife and Mother March, his 3 kids, 2 pets, 2 cars and a stable job, he's basically in the upper 10% of Americans. And Kazuma, who was originally a smart but lazy loser isekai protagonist, but by now he has actually amassed a wealth, fortune, political influence, connections and a lavish lifestyle that even many noblemen can't afford. And with that said, now it's your turn. What are your most creative tax avoidance tricks? Do you know the abyss like Artorias does? Let me know it down in the comment section. And while you type, I say thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.